Hello, everybody. I'm Mel Dorr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and I have the one, the only Kevin Chandler in the house. Hi,
Hey
Kevin.
everyone.
Too funny. We're laughing because right before we went live, I put the banner in and all that stuff, and I did the lead in. And I'm, hi, everybody. I'm Mel Dorr, and Kevin goes, Mel, we're not live. I go, yeah. He goes, we'll be here for a full hour. I'm going, yeah, nobody's calling in. Why not?
Right? Everybody said, where are they at? Meanwhile, we're having our own show backstage.
Right.
Hello, everyone. Good to be here.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank everybody last night for your generous donations to the fundraiser that we did. I know it was during Biden's speech, but when we planned it, we didn't know that.
Yeah.
Biden announced his speech a little bit that he was going to do his farewell speech after we'd already planned it. But I think we raised somebody told me today, almost $9,000 or $10,000. So
That's awesome.
That's exciting. So.
And the link should still be open. If they want to donate, they can go on your live yesterday and donate.
It is.
Still. Yeah.
Somebody said there's too many ads, but the thing is, because it was a fundraiser, I can't monetize it. And so if I don't control what ads they put up, but I can control the amount of ads, except you're not monetized. And then they put one up every 2 or 3 minutes. But one of the ways to do it is take the slider bar and just slide it all the way across and then start over, so you don't get inundated with all those ads. But I don't think there's a way around it when it's not monetized.
Well, if it's not monetized, there shouldn't be ads. But if it was still turned on, it wouldn't be monetized if you have it set up to take donations for like a cause. Right. But the ads are still going to play, so you still get ad revenue. But when you're live, I don't think that you can control how frequently the ads pop up while you're doing a live show.
What happened was then, it was live, but then it goes on my channel, and then people can see it after the fact, and that's where they put the ads in, I think. And they said there were like every 2 or 3 minutes, and I can't do it. I mean, it's not monetized but I can't control the amount of ads that go up there, because if you don't monetize it, you can't control the ads. There's no way to do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never done like a charity. Right. I don't even know how you put that up, but I know that you can.
So anyway. Maybe there's a way around it. I don't know, but
but that's awesome that you guys raised so much money yesterday.
Well, actually, it was Kim Copeland's idea.
Okay.
And we were going to do it on her show, but I think she had some kind of memory problem with her computer, and I didn't know if we were going to be able to do it on mine, because I was telling Kevin before the show that my old MacBook Pro, it's 4 years old, but I use it so much, it kind of the control panel went haywire. The shift key wasn't working, and they wanted like $900 to fix it. And I'm like, for that, I might as well buy a new computer.
Right.
So I was wondering if I could get the bugs worked out of it, and I did, and here we are. So
all good.
All right. So Kevin, what's going on with you, buddy?
I mean, not a whole lot. Trying my best to stay positive with during all the chaos and transition that we're going through. Trying to keep those vibrations up. I also have not this weekend, but next weekend, I have a Holy Fire Reiki class on Saturday and Sunday. So getting all prepped and ready for that.
I would suggest everybody to take it. Kevin's a wonderful teacher, and you'll get a lot out of it. Yeah, my new, there's a YouTube channel called Yes Theory, and it's really cool that people step out of their comfort zones. And you got to watch it. But there was a T-shirt that says "Love over Fear," and I had it on. I ordered it. It was really cool. But my new saying is now, "Love trumps hate."
I like it. We should do T-shirts now.
Let's do a T-shirt. Love trumps hate, and we'll get all the community involved in it. So, and the money we make, we'll donate to something.
Sounds good.
Anyway. Okay, so we got some stuff started here. Are we ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it. I've had a busy day, so I'm not sure what's all going on, but I guess we'll see everybody in the chat first two questions.
I haven't watched the news. Nothing. I mean, 2 minutes before I came into the studio, that's the first 2 minutes I had to myself the entire day. So,
Yep, busy.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Let's do it.
All righty. Linnea says the Democrats are apparently pushing hard for Garland to release the second part of Jack Smith's report before, can't say his name, takes office. Do you see this happening?
Who should not be named. Let's not give him that power or energy. I see it being released, but I don't feel before he takes office. I picked up that there may be some leaks of it too, but it will eventually become public. Just not right now. I'm not feeling it.
He with no name. Actually, in a way, I hope it does come out once he's in office, because it's going to decrease his popularity wildly. I see it coming out. If Jack Smith doesn't release it, somebody's going to leak it. And I watched Glenn Kirshner about the first part of it that was released, and I haven't read it. I want to read it, but it's very lengthy.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be pretty damning. But I still don't see Trump fulfilling 4 years in office. I just do not.
Yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead.
And when I try to see a future for him, I'm having a hard time seeing anything. So that's telling me that maybe he's not long for the planet. I don't wish anybody harm, but I don't know. What do you think? You started to say something, Kevin.
I'll just say, since about last week, it's really weird because I do feel energy around him getting in, but then when I try to tap into inauguration day and see him get inaugurated, it's kind of like blank. I'm not really seeing that either. So, but I agree. We both have been saying for quite a while, the ill health and not probably being long for the planet. I agree. I don't see him finishing out a term if he does get in. Let's hope he doesn't, but it seems that way.
Well, my feeling is the Dems will take back over the House and the Senate during the midterm. So if J.D. Vance becomes president, he's going to be lame duck. I'm just nervous about Ukraine because Trump is going to want, I can end the war. Yeah, let Russia have what they want and Ukraine not to go into NATO. I don't think Zelensky's going to agree with that.
No, I do feel like there's negotiations, but I also feel very strongly Putin, his regime is not going to be around for very long.
Hallelujah. And I had a feeling with that ceasefire between Israel and Hamas that Netanyahu would try some BS. And I heard on the radio today, well, he hasn't done the ceasefire yet because he didn't like something. And I'm like,
his cabinet can't agree to it. But I think we all know that Trump probably gave him a call and said, you're not doing it while Biden's in office.
Right. Because Trump wants credit for it.
Yes.
But then when Trump did take credit for it, it happened when I was, they announced I was going to be president. Excuse me, but Biden came forward and said, he didn't say anything about Trump, but said how hard they had worked behind the scenes and all of this and all of that. So if Trump still tries to take credit for it, I see a lot of people speaking up and saying, a lot of people are going to start speaking out against the misinformation and the lies, big time.
Yeah, we're going to have to, right?
That's right. That's the only thing we got to go on.
Yeah.
All right. Mara Pemberton says, who will hold Trump's Bible on Monday? Melania or the other one whose name we won't mention? Just curious.
President Musk?
Yeah, King Musk. You got it wrong. King Musk.
We know Trump loves that.
I don't know if either one will, but provided that they don't hold it upside down.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's funny though.
Jesus is having just a meltdown over this. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look here. Now, this Impact posted a report that the number of vasectomies, 95%, and tubal sterilization, 70% surged with Roe v. Wade bans. Again, surged after election. Will it be a problem for us in next year's? No, because a person has the right to get a vasectomy or a tubal ligation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they start trying to speak out about that, they might say insurance companies won't pay for it.
Right. Well, I think we're going to continue to see the GOP continue to attack women and the rights to make decisions for their body and their health care. But I do see not too far off in the future, it being reinstated. So
Yeah,
Roe v. Wade.
I do too. I see Roe v. Wade being reinstated. You're right. But, I still feel my guides tell me the women will bring him down.
Mm-hmm.
Trump, I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot.
Trump doesn't even need women to bring him down, though. He does it all himself. And we're going to see the Republican Party crash and burn. So
meaning that the women will come out, or some even more of them say he did this, this, and that. And if he even is in office long enough, the other day my psychic flash cube went off, and it was like, oh my God, he's going to get impeached again. So
if he's even around long enough to be impeached.
Exactly. Repeat what you said about the MAGAs and the Republican Party, because the MAGAs are already at war with themselves.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be nothing but gridlock and chaos for the next 2 years. At least we saw in the House the last 2 years, them not getting anything done, and that now they even have less of a majority. They're not going to be able to get very much done.
And that's what I was going to say with that chaos and confusion. Zero gets done.
Yeah. Well, I'll at least enjoy watching the MAGAs crash and burn. Get our popcorn for that.
Ever notice when, the MAGAs are in power, not the old order Republicans, but the MAGAs, it's always chaotic. When the Dems take office, it's not chaotic. It runs smoothly. There's not all the dissension, all the anarchy. I've noticed that.
Well, I think we all know, too, that, that's what they want. They want to make our democracy unstable and make it a joke. And they're not serious. They don't have policy or ideas. They don't have, they have concepts and plans, but you can't get any of them to agree on what to do. They're so divided. So
right. Okay, here we go. Laura Wright says, I love the dog. Hi, Laura. DeSantis has appointed his AG Ashley Moody to take the vacated seat of Rubio for senator. How will that go? What do you pick up, Kevin?
Ashley Moody. I'm going to throw a card on her because I hadn't heard of her, but I did say, I think we probably both said people were afraid Gates was going to get Rubio's seat, and I was not feeling that at all. So I'm sure she's probably not a whole lot better, but I feel like she's going to get in.
She will. She absolutely will.
I do feel, though, I'm not sure when that primary would be up, because she'd be appointed till his seat would be up. I don't know if that's in 26, but I do feel challenges to her seat. I don't feel like her being very widely popular.
While you're doing that, I just got to read something somebody put. It says, Beyond Extinction Love. I like the name. It says, honestly, I just love any show that you all are on. You remind me of who a real American is. I don't have any questions because after the election was stolen, it seems pointless. Well, we can't give up, though, you all. We have to let our voices heard. I've accepted the worst is happening and that we really will not be prepared for Trump's efforts at destroying our government. Still, I'll listen to all of you because you make me feel better knowing you believe our democracy will survive. It will survive.
Yeah.
Our union will stand, our democracy will survive and justice will prevail.
Absolutely. And like I said on my show yesterday, it's not easy the times we're going through. We're going to have to make sure that we're taking really good care of ourselves, but don't allow the darkness to dim your light. Don't allow the negative forces to take away your power or to put you in that restrictive fear or anger. We have to shift that frequency and come together as light workers and um, continue to speak our truth and share our light with the world, share the truth with the world.
There we go.
I get her getting in. She's got the agreement here and the support, but something coming along the lines later on with the Eight of Swords here to kind of restrict her, and then there's a bit of a retreat. I don't think she'll be in there long. I'm not sure when Rubio seats up, but I almost feel like somebody else winning a primary out over her.
I think she's going to do such a poor job that when the elections do happen, she's going to be out. She'll be voted out or primaried out is what I see. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
She'll get in, but I mean, I heard Marco Rubio talking about, what's he when I'm Secretary of State, talking about Ukraine and how, that the territory Russia has and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I wanted to throw up. But I can tell you right now that that Zelensky in Ukraine will not accept that. He's not gonna want to give back what Russia stole. And people are forgetting that this war was non-provoked. Putin just did it because he decided he wanted Ukraine. So I think people miss sight of that.
Yeah, and even though the U.S. may not be giving the resources, I still feel like there's a huge NATO response going on to Putin, and there will be actions, and I see them still giving a lot of the supplies and resources to Ukraine.
That's what my guides have shown me. That I've been saying that as well. That NATO will band strong, and and a lot of countries in the rest of the world will give aid to Ukraine because they know if they don't, then other countries like China and things like that would think, okay, we can just march in and take over countries and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
People are nervous because Iran just signed a pact with Putin. And that tells me Iran's going to start trying to invade countries in the Middle East. But if they do, those countries are going to fight back.
Well, and you're going to see too with, the dumpster fire in there. Even China's going to see how far they can push it with Taiwan, because they're not going to have the pressure against them from the U.S. anyway. I do feel like there's still pressure there, but. Right. Can I post this real quick? Because
you can pull up anything you'd like.
Garden Chicken says, we chose to be here now. We know we are strong. We have a job to do. Be the light, send love and healing and joy, build community and be kind. Amen to that.
Thank you.
We're going to get through it. I'm not saying it's going to be the easiest, but we're going to have to fight for it, for our country, for our democracy.
Well, once Humpty Dumpty, and I call him Humpty Dumpty because Humpty Dumpty had the great fall, and Trump will have a great fall. At some point, once, a lot sooner than later, I got to stop saying at some point, but once, I still don't see Humpty Dumpty finishing his term in office. Vance takes over, lame duck. And once all that's gone, it's like the McCarthy era. It took 2 or 3 brave people to start speaking up against him. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this MAGA movement. There's going to be brave, strong people that will speak up against it. And the MAGA movement will go the way of McCarthyism. MAGAism will be dead and gone, I think, within 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't even really feel the conservatives are really all for Trump. They love that he has his cult, his base. he's has that emotional response over people. So he can manipulate and control them. They like the base, the energy behind him, but they don't like his policies. And I've said before, I don't feel like Donald Trump ever even chose JD Vance to be his VP. I think those who are really in charge chose it, and that's who they want as their president. So
I believe that 100%.
Mhm.
And you've said all along, at least as long as we've been doing shows together, that the Republican Party would crash and burn or implode.
Mm.
In a way, it has, because the old order Republicans like Liz Cheney and things like that, they're kind of, well, behind the scenes, Liz Cheney is going to be doing a lot of work to show once again what Trump's about. But, in a way it has imploded, and I think it's going to implode even more.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They're already at war, like I said, the MAGAs, because over King Elon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
And all the billionaire tech people, kissing the ring and kissing his butt. Giving money for the inauguration, which, by the way, we're supposed to get a really good cold front in, I think, over the weekend. So it's going to be pretty chilly out in DC on Monday.
There will be a lot more people in the Women's March than we will be for his inauguration.
I love it. I won't be wasting my time watching it. So
I'm going to watch it. Here is a comment. T-Lin says, Georgia MAGA Senator Colton Moore banned from Capitol by Governor Kemp, forcibly arrested after showing up anyway.
Oh, good.
Yay. We'll have to take a look at that and see what happened. I don't know if they can ban somebody from the Capitol if they're a senator. I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he made an ass out of himself. So
it's an insult to an ass.
You're right.
All right. I'm looking for the starred ones here. Let me see. Oops. I'll just click on starred. That'll show me. I talk to myself.
You're all good.
Okay. Marani says, hi, do you see any major hurricanes in southwest Florida?
I'm feeling yes.
I see a lot of them whipping up from the Gulf side, and they're ferocious, and they'll go clear across the state. And it is the Gulf of Mexico, not the Gulf of America. Thank you.
Right.
But north, south, east, west. So I do see a couple big hurricanes in 2025 hitting southwest Florida. Unfortunately, yes. Yeah. And one is going to come clear across the state and go up, just like the other one did. And it's going to be a humongous storm. Go ahead. My guides are showing me we're going to have a lot more of these catastrophic natural events because of climate change. Mm-hmm. And because of Trump's reaction to them, people are going to be hopping mad. Just like his reaction to COVID, zero. Mm. It's going to pull a lot of Americans together to say, wait a minute here.
Well, because we're going to have to come together to live through all of the devastation and destruction, right?
Well, look at what happened with these fires in LA. Trump said that California didn't respond quickly enough. And it was always, he, once again, creating chaos. As president-elect, he should have been out there saying, what can the government do? Don't worry. We've got it covered. We'll do this and that. But just like Puerto Rico, where he was throwing paper towels, he'll probably go to California and throw water bottles at people. I mean, he
doesn't care about anybody but himself. He likes a good optic, but he doesn't care about anybody but himself.
Right. He should have been saying, here's what we're going to do. We'll work with you in any way we can, regardless of politics.
Yeah. When I was tapping into like hurricanes in the Gulf, I was picking up like 3 major ones for 2025. But I do feel the Atlantic side was pretty quiet this year. I do feel a couple on the Atlantic side too. Like North Carolina, the Carolinas, unfortunately. I know that they just had all of that flooding and destruction, but I do feel like
a lot more flooding, a lot more tornadoes. I see some volcanic activity. And these fires put more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which increases global warming.
Can I post this real quick? Because this, I think, brings in a little bit more information for that that senator in Georgia State. MAGA Rep Moore was arrested for trying to enter the state house. He had been previously banned for inflammatory comments. Does fighting back and banning help or make it worse? I think it's good that they're making a stand.
I think it helps because people are going to say, wait a minute, if you're going to engage in that sort of behavior, then guess what? You just can't behave that way. Yeah. And if it goes to the Supreme Court is going to kick it back to the states and says the states has the right to do that. I mean, he's a MAGA representative. Wait, in the Georgia state, is he a representative for this in Georgia or is he in the House of Representatives in Washington?
No, I think he was in state government.
Well, I think they made a statement, and I think, what do you think, Kevin? I think if people are going to behave that way, right? I think banning will actually at least set some boundaries.
Well, right. And that's not to say that, a bully isn't going to respect the boundaries, and it may incite more things, but good for them for standing up and not putting up with it. Right. That's what I say.
Exactly. That's a great question, actually. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Spirit animal. Hey, spirit animal. Will Trump be successful in acquiring Greenland, or is he just trolling? No. He's trolling.
It's all about his ego and this big, dominant U.S. expansionism. We're going to take over all of these states, and it's going to make America great. It's delusion. That's what it is.
I think it's, he says stuff so preposterous, like the magician in the tarot deck, to get everybody talking over here. Then he does something that's less preposterous, but so he can get by with it. People say, well, it wasn't as bad as this.
Well, it's like a distraction too. Like, look over here.
Right. Look over here while he's doing something underhanded over here.
Right.
And basically by him saying that, what he's doing is giving a wink and a nod to China and the likes of Putin to say, hey, you want to take over something that you want to take, or go for it, because I'm thinking of taking over Greenland.
Right.
What he's doing is using that to distract people here, so he thinks he can get the Panama Canal. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
But that's going to blow up in his face.
Yeah. I think it's all a lot of talk.
Okay. Sheila, treasure finder. Find me and Kevin some treasure, would you? Will any information come out of NATO?
I do feel information coming up from NATO, from overseas, from Europe. Absolutely.
To the point where a lot of countries, even more, are going to come out and say, okay, we're monitoring our elections very carefully and passing legislation because of the Russian, Chinese, and Elon Musk interference. And even I see, my light bulb went on, where I see a lot of countries saying that they don't even want products from the companies that Musk owns in their country.
Interesting. I'm getting goosebumps with that, Mel. I didn't even think of that.
Yep. That just, boom. It was like,
absolutely. And yeah, there'll be election interference stuff, but I really see NATO ramping up talks against Russia too. I'm not saying it's going to be an invasion NATO into Russia. I feel like maybe it's like more cyber stuff, kind of looking into it and revealing a lot. But yeah, a lot is coming out of NATO.
And also a lot's coming out about NATO, about how they have information that Russia and King Elon interfered in the election here. Direct proof. And it's not true. It's a witch hunt. But we shall see. That might exactly be, and there's going to be proof coming out exactly that to prove Trump talk to Russia to get that interference into the election.
Hmm. The thing is, though, even once he's in there, they're not going to remove him, even if there was cheating. He's not going to just, oh, I cheated, I'm going to step
No,
down.
that's not going to happen. We'd have to wait until we take over the House and the Senate. But there's going to be things coming out so egregious about him. I'm talking
absolutely.
egregious and so repugnant.
Even worse than the first term, I feel like. It feels like it's nothing but scandal.
And it's going to really, people are going to be, us citizens are going to be screaming out. And it's going to force them to do something to impeach him again or get him out of office. You know, nowadays I was alive during the Nixon years, and it almost seems lame compared to what's going on. But Republicans in those days were like, no, we don't tolerate this.
Right.
And I see something so egregious, numerous things that are going to come out about T-Rump, that many of the Republicans are going to go, no, wait a minute, this is enough.
Well, and the thing is I don't think a lot of Republicans really care for Trump. I mean,
no,
you have the MAGAs that, love him. But a lot of other Republicans, they're not a fan. They just don't want to deal with all the fire that they'll have to deal with their constituents if they go against him. But I agree. I do see more and more Republicans really standing up to Trump because he's pushing things too far.
Way too far.
Mm-hmm.
But you mark my words about what I said about NATO earlier when my flash bulb went on. We shall see.
Love it.
What was it I said exactly? I don't know the exact words. But
about with Musk and not allowing his.
Oh, that's right. His products in their countries. Yeah. Yep. A lot of countries will.
And I think also too, we're going to hear a lot of them talk about his part in the interference as well.
Oh yeah. I'll give, it's like a lotto. If you vote for Trump, you could win this or whatever.
Absolutely.
A lot of countries aren't, I see a lot of countries are going to, like our version of NASA, they're going to start competing against Elon Musk for space and put his stuff out of business, especially Starlink. You'll see.
All right.
A big thing about it is because what he's trying to do with Tesla products and pass legislation here, if something happens in one of those cars because of shoddiness, that he doesn't have to pay or the company doesn't have to pay. And I'm seeing countries banning those cars because many of them are futuristically going to be unsafe.
Yeah.
Entertainment purposes only.
Right. Thank you. I might take a little while, but I feel like this buddy relationship with him and Trump is not going to, the battle of the egos is not going to go well for Elon. And I feel like I never necessarily picked up jail, but I feel like massive lawsuits and a lot of financial sanctions against him and some of his companies.
So do I.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you kind of segued into it. Spirit Animals says, how long will King Musk continue to have influence in the U.S. government until he and Trump has a falling out? They will. It's going to be.
I don't think it will be that long either.
I see Elon Musk being investigated at some, in the future. And my guides are showing me that he's also going to be investigated and under indictment in other places as well.
Like a lot in the world, you mean?
Yes. Entertainment purposes only.
Well, I don't feel like we'll say if Donald Trump gets in, because hopefully that changes. But if he gets in, I don't see him in there for very long. But I feel like a big blow up between the two before that happens.
Yeah.
Before he leaves.
Because Trump is going to get jealous because Musk is getting more attention. And the MAGAs are already fighting among themselves because of Musk and the stuff he's doing. And Trump may not like that.
There's some kind of sabotage here for Musk. He's getting stabbed in the back, backstab. Justice is on its way. And big shocking announcements, big judgments against him. Even a lot of the MAGAs don't like him at all.
Right. I pulled the moon, which means a lot of things coming to the surface, a lot of dark secrets coming out.
Hmm.
about him, about wannabe
Oh, yeah.
King Elon. Let me ask the outcome of it. Um, and he's going to pretend, oh, I didn't do it. Oh wow!
Hmm.
But ooh, look at the card I pulled
Ooh, death,
from
change.
Change.
Hmm.
So his wings will be clipped.
Yeah. Well, and I did hear that Bannon absolutely hates Elon.
And Bannon's going to be behind a movement. Again, my light bulb just went on. Bannon is going to be behind a movement behind the scenes to get rid of Elon, or to
Hmm.
cause Elon to be in disfavor.
All right. Yep, I can see it too. It's
Um,
going to be nothing but chaos. Let them eat their own.
oh, it's gonna be a show, that's for sure. um, okay, alrighty. This is Connie B. Connie B, thank you for being a moderator. We greatly appreciate it. Connie
Anytime.
B says, I think NATO is going to declare war on Russia. Connie, I don't think NATO can declare war. I don't think they have that authority.
Well, it would have to be a country declaring war if
Correct.
there was some kind of attack. You see them affecting, the infrastructure with those, with the communication lines and all of that up in the Baltics. So I'll just throw a
Well,
card for it. I don't know if it's. I don't feel like it's like a ground invasion in Russia, but
I do feel if Putin, even with Trump in office, and Trump is going to do that whole thing with NATO, well, if they don't pay us, I'm not going to defend them. When I say I think, I predict
mhm,
that if Russia does try to invade a NATO country, that country would declare war on Russia, and then you would have NATO involved in it, all NATO
yeah.
countries involved in it. I think that's what you're picking up on, Connie.
Mhm. I get that there's a decision to be made, and they're weighing the options. Um, but the ruler, there's hope. I feel like for a fall, is what I'm getting. He'll be desperate to hold on to power, but there is hope in regards to the rule with Russia. I see Putin out.
Well, Putin's thinking is if he can weaken NATO, and my guides have shown me this all along, then he can go through the
Mhm.
Baltic Republic, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and down to Moravia and into Romania, and maybe into Slovakia. But he can't fight a war on all those fronts. But with getting these pacts with Brazil, India, China, South Africa, Brazil, then and North Korea, then he can kind of thinking they'll bring him troops, and they would be enough in power for him to take over those countries. But
I don't see that though.
I don't see
Maybe
it.
they have some kind of deals or arrangements there, but I almost feel like you know Putin can't even. How long has this invasion in Ukraine went? It was supposed to. It was supposed to be taken over in a matter of weeks, and here we are. I don't see China and a lot of these countries wanting to um, put too many resources in a battle that they can't win.
It's just like when Russia was in Afghanistan, the Soviet Union. They were there for years, and finally they pulled out because it's a war that you can't win. Just like when we were there, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, the the Ukrainians, they have an army, and they're going to start following guerrilla warfare, and you cannot win a guerrilla war with conventional means. We learned that in Vietnam.
Yep.
Uh, you know, um, Putin thinks he's got all that in a piece of toast, but I heard him when I was in Vienna, and there's a new world order coming. Was at the BRIC conference. BRIC meaning, as I said, Brazil, India, China,
Hmm.
uh, South Africa. But I just think he's saber rattling. But I know what's in his mind. He wants those Baltic republics.
Yeah.
He wants parts of Eastern Europe back. That's why he said any country that joined NATO after 1990, he does not recognize.
Mm.
but those countries do not want Putin. I can tell you that right now.
And I don't see.
was nervous,
Mhm.
but they will stand up and fight.
Yeah.
You were saying
No,
something, Kevin. I interrupted. Go ahead.
no, you're fine. I'm going to post this up because I did hear about this. Um, the Poland leader stated that they'd had discovered Russians' plans to shoot down commercial airlines. I
Yes.
feel like there's continued, like I said, action being taken against Russia. There's a, that momentum is building, like, the conflict, but I don't know if it turns into physical war. But I do feel um, definitely much more of a NATO response.
Well, I think there's something that came out months ago. I read about it where they had already tested putting incendiary devices on cargo planes. It was in the UK and I think here. So I don't know if it's to shoot them down. That's too obvious, but to put incendiary devices that would cause a fire to bring the airplane down.
Yeah.
And I think they tried it once or twice and they were caught. And I'm glad the Polish president came out with this because it's like saying, yes, we have this intelligence. And yes, here's what they're going to do. So, people will still travel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I see a tightening of airline security with cargo and baggage and things like that are going to go into airplanes. So they're going to even X-ray it more. Any kind of cargo, anything. That goes in the belly of those passenger planes. So
I feel Russia targeting more infrastructure stuff rather than, I'm not saying that they weren't targeting commercial planes, because I'm sure he was, but I do feel like there may be another outburst or two of communication lines being severed. More infrastructure for some of those countries.
I ask about Putin's plans, what would happen. This is a death card.
Yeah.
And then look at the one that came after that.
Oh, fighting. Yeah, conflict.
Well, people are worried about a world war. I don't necessarily see that, nor do I see nuclear annihilation.
Yeah.
These countries will stand up and fight back. That's what Putin is not saying, but they will.
Well, and not even just the countries. I feel like the Russian people are going to take a stand and finally have enough. And, a lot of these oligarchs, fall out first-story windows and stuff, but I see a lot of them really irritated. Their economies, it's in shambles right now. All of the dead Russian soldiers.
Oh, absolutely.
It feels like it's more of a revolution inside Russia that takes Putin down.
I see a revolution coming there. Absolutely. Okay. We got to be careful here because Trump would like us so split apart that if we had a civil war, a bloodless civil war, then he can say, I can fix it. And just, dictators come to power by creating anarchy and chaos.
Yeah.
So, and people are going to get tired of it here too. Okay. Absolutely. Here's a good one. Mercury Angel says, what's with all this infighting with the GOP? They are not in office yet, but I see cracks.
We chat about this. I'm going to throw some cards on the energy of the GOP. Let's see how long it takes for that implosion that we've been witnessing and that I've been chatting about for years.
Right? My guide just told me the process has begun, and it's going to escalate wildly over the next 7 or 8 months.
Oh yeah.
Look at
I think within the next couple months. Oh, out in the cold, feeling of Mandarin.
Right, out in the cold. I'll just keep talking, Kevin. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the donation, Panarak. That was so nice. Thank you very much.
Oh, I absolutely see that the GOP is going to implode. This is illumination, manipulation here with the magician, and all of the infightings. They're all fighting amongst each other. I think some of it, though, it feels like it's a lot of these MAGAs. It's a popularity contest of who's closest to Trump. So they all start turning on each other, and then you have other people that are standing up against all of the craziness that Trump wants to put out there.
I pulled the 10 of diamonds, which is really a death card. So
Mm-hmm.
it's, I see the number 7, and I'm thinking within the next 4 or 5 years that the MAGAs will no longer be around. There might be a few little stragglers, but within 7 years, they're going to be gone.
Yeah. But I do also feel like there'll be changes in the Democratic Party too.
Absolutely. I think the Democrats are going to get more fiery, and they're going to get more proactive as opposed to reactive.
And I think that will be a good change too.
I see a leader coming to the Democratic Party who's going to be fiery, outspoken, positive, but will not put up with any shenanigans. Somebody who's even more charismatic than Michelle Obama or Barack Obama, and that's pretty charismatic.
Yeah.
But, it's one thing to be charismatic, whether or not you dislike Trump. To some people, he's charismatic. To me, he's repugnant. But
he's an idiot.
But I see somebody who can really unite the American people and will stand firm in defeating this ultra right wing bigoted fascist BS.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely. I think well, when you have such an extremist group as Trump and his cult, you do, not to say that you need to play dirty or be just as low as them, but you need to fight back against the bully. You can't just ignore it or take the high road. It doesn't get us anywhere.
This is going to be somebody who comes across like a David, but they will slay Goliath.
Good. We need those warriors, that warrior energy.
Exactly. Okay. Christian Martinez says, hello, Mel and Kevin. Love you. Thank you, Christian. You both predicted Claudia Sheinbaum would win in Mexico. Now she's standing up to Trump. Absolutely. I made a joke the other day, but in my feeling, it was a psychic prediction. Trump says, I'm going to put up a great wall. And I'm thinking, Donald, don't worry about it, because after you're in office for, a year or a year and a half, nobody's going to want to come here. So, I'm thinking that she might give him a taste of his own medicine and say, wait, we're going to put up a wall to protect our borders. I got a funny feeling she's going to do something like that.
She is not one to mess around with. I see her giving it to Trump, and not even just giving it. She absolutely will stand up to Trump. But I feel like she's got plans and strategies. I'm not saying that she's going to close the border down, but Trump wants to talk about tariffs and all of this. I see her doing the same thing to the US if he wants to play those games. She's not going to be intimidated.
And a lot of our goods are manufactured there, and we get a lot of our fruit from there. So guess what? Yeah. People don't realize the inflation that's going to happen, because with him wanting mass deportations, the tariffs, it's going to cause inflation. And when people start paying a lot more money at the grocery store because of price gouging and because of his policies, that will bring him down quicker than white on rice. And I see that Sheinbaum is going to start talking about her and the guy in Ecuador. I can't think of his name, or El Salvador. I think they're going to talk about a South American and Central American union that'll be like what the European Union is, and those countries banding together and having a common currency and having power in numbers. So here again, my guides just told me the women will bring him down, and Claudia Sheinbaum is one of them that'll do it.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay. Once again, thank you to, I think, Panarock Wilkins, thank you very
Thank you.
much. Okay. This is a good question. Reversed images. Will NATO ban strong against the U.S.?
I don't feel an implosion in the relationship. However, I do feel a lot of our allies will not be sharing a lot of the information that they have with somebody that's going to steal documents or somebody that they can't trust. So I do feel like, you know, the U.S. will still be a part of NATO, but it's not going to be as close as what it has been. They're going to be very cautious with Trump.
Well, after Trump, we'll have a president that'll come along that will once again make NATO stand strong. And if Trump thinks he's going to pull out, I don't know if he can do it just like that. But I want to tell you, that's going to strengthen NATO. And a lot of other countries will join.
Well, and I think that there will be more resources from other countries put into NATO as well.
Absolutely. Oh, this is a good one. Panarock Wilkins says, the Danish Prime Minister and Trump met yesterday. What would they have discussed? Well, doesn't Denmark control Greenland?
Oh. My first thought was I kind of felt, I'm not sure who the Danish Prime Minister is, but I kind of felt like he was standing his ground against Trump.
He was, actually.
Yeah.
You know, first, we'll see, blah, blah, blah. But I think he's not going to be bullied by Trump.
Yeah. I don't get that it was like a cheerful conversation at all.
I'm seeing a lot of middle fingers.
Yeah, like coming up against the bully. We're not going to be oppressed by you. The hermit coming in, which can be like isolation, solidarity. So like taking a step away. It's
going to cause. Go ahead, Kevin. I'm sorry.
With the star card too. It's just like, you know, they're going to stand up for what they believe in.
I pulled the 8 of spades, which would be a mighty enemy. So Trump is underestimating, I think, the Danish Prime Minister, because he would be successful in getting Norway, Finland, a lot of those countries to stand united in Scandinavia against Trump's idea of wanting to take over Greenland.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. It's not going to happen.
Either. I still think he kind of wants the Panama Canal. That's what he's shooting for.
I agree with that. I don't see a takeover of Panama though, but he may make some kind of trade agreement for using it.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on Poland saying they discovered plot by Russia to explosive devices on commercial airplanes across the world? I think that Poland, what they're saying is absolutely correct. And as we said earlier, it's going to tighten security for cargo on commercial airliners.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a good question. Christian Martinez says, do you see rain for California, Southern California?
I heard yes as soon as I saw it. It may take a little while still. When I read on it last week, when it was really going, it was, you know, when we were first hearing about it, I felt like it would maybe take like up to 3 weeks to get all of the fires contained. I do know that they have, I think, 2 of the fires, I think, are like 80 or 90% contained. But I think they're calling for more winds next week. So I do feel like some rain's coming for Southern California.
Got it. I see a lot of rains coming there too.
Mm-hmm. But then, yeah, you have to be concerned about mudslides with it too. I'm not necessarily seeing mudslides, or maybe if there are some, it's not, you know, huge or, you know, catastrophic.
I think the rains in Southern California will help with the fires, obviously. But I'm thinking
they need some gentle rain.
I do see rain, but I also see some flooding in Southern California too. So, we would go from fire to rain, huh?
Yeah, it's like one extreme to the next. And that's something collectively that we are all dealing with. You're not safe anywhere. There's always something, and the weather and the earth activity is just going to continue to ramp up.
Okay.
I do not see it being an easy year with storms or earthquakes or volcanoes, flooding. I mean, it's going to be bad.
Okay. Governor Newsom is having a problem with the GOP because of the fire. Do you, President Biden, do you see President Biden and Newsom passing a stimulus check? Newsom, I think, will, but I think Biden doesn't have time to do it.
Hmm. I don't know about stimulus check, but I do see California getting a lot of aid and funding together for those that are in need. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that the California governor would do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hazel Johnson, does Marjorie Taylor Greene have a sore rear end over her not being chosen by T-Rump?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's mad.
That's where I was saying earlier, it's like the maggots, it needs to be a popularity contest with them. And you see them all starting to attack each other when, they're not getting the attention that they want from Trump. She was mad that he didn't choose her to be in her cabinet. She's very upset about it.
Oh, very. She'll get over it.
She'll get over it.
I see her arrested by the fashion police anyway. Okay. All things Maria, do you see any health issues with Muskrat? Yeah, he needs to take Prozac.
I don't know about physical health issues, but like mental health issues, he doesn't seem like he's sound mind.
You think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's obviously a little bit out there, but to me, it feels like it's more of like the mental health, being very kind of like all over the place and scattered up in the headspace.
I get scattered. I've got ADD. I call it multitasking. I multitask.
Well,
Okay.
I know that, for entertainment purposes only, he has been known to do some substances that probably don't help with that. So,
Well, that just can exacerbate what's wrong,
Right. Yeah.
Okay. We got time for just a few more here. Meg says, how come Biden is not packing up his office? Because the government does it for him. I don't know. I know what she's asking. If Biden is not packing up his office, is he going to stay in office? And unfortunately, I'm hoping for a miracle here too, folks.
Yeah.
But I do see Donald going. I see the inauguration happening.
See, I don't see the inauguration, but I feel more energy of the incoming administration. So,
excuse me, I just dropped my card here. Which drops on the floor comes to the door.
And also, how do we know if they're packing up his office or not?
I'm sorry, say again.
How do we know if they're packing up his office or not?
Correct. I don't know, but we wouldn't actually. All right.
The thing is, I felt very hopeful. I always felt like there's going to be stuff from overseas that comes out. The thing is Biden had a decision to make if he was going to fight it. I'm not feeling like he's doing that. And, it is what it is. It's his free will. So, if I'm feeling that energy shift, I'm going to still be optimistic and let's all hope that something happens to change it. But I'm not going to give people false hope either when I feel like I can feel energy going in a direction. So
exactly. Anyway, okay. So everybody, thank you so very, very much for tuning in. And we had almost 1,400 watching us tonight.
Nice.
And
thank you all so much for being here.
Next week, Kevin's show. So Kevin, if they want to get a hold of you, how do they do it?
So right now I'm offering Reiki sessions or like a combination reading Reiki session you can go on my website, kevinslovingvibrations.com. I do believe I have a couple openings towards the end of this month, maybe one next week and two the last week. And also I have a Holy Fire Reiki level 1 and 2 class in March. I have all that information under the class section on my website as well. So you can check that all out if you're interested.
Okay. And my information is below, www.meldor.com. Call my office, 847-590-5411. I have openings for Peru and for Iceland. So I hope you all join us on these trips. Are going to be incredible. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, see you next week, buddy.
Sounds good. My channel next week. Take
All right.
care, everyone.